Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the outset, I would like to congratulate you, Mr. Chairman, on your election to chair this important committee. I would like to thank the President of the General Assembly. Congratulate you, Mr. Chairman, on your election to chair this important committee. I would like to thank the President of the General Assembly and Under-Secretary General Aqua for their remarks. I associate myself with the statement by Morocco on behalf of NAM. Mr. Chairman, if there is one singular iconic image that has become synonymous with peace, then it is that of the UN peacekeeper with the blue helmet. Peacekeepers have long been the best chance for peace. They work in some of the world's most volatile conflict zones, protecting civilians and performing a range of duties. India pays rich tribute to all the brave women and men who have served under the UN flag and continue to serve in peacekeeping mission with the highest professionalism, dedication, and courage. In particular, I salute the yeoman service of Indian peacekeepers over decades and the supreme sacrifice many have done for the cause of world peace. I also recall the pioneering efforts of India, especially the first all-women UN police peacekeeping contingent in Liberia, in the backdrop of our own history of forming the first all-woman Rani of Jhansi regiment of the Indian National Army of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose during India's fight for independence. Mr. Chairman, let me highlight our perspective on some of the priority issues in UN peacekeeping. The performance of peacekeeping operations should be measured in relation to political and operational realities, priorities set for implementing mandate, and adequacy and appropriateness of resources. Appropriate use of field-focused, reliable, and cost-effective technologies in peacekeeping operations that are driven by practical needs of end users is the need of the hour. Ongoing efforts for enhanced usage of technologies for purposes of improved situational awareness, safety, and security, enhancing field support, and effective mandate implementation is appreciated. India has always voiced its support for adoption of no national caveats policy at the UN peacekeeping deployments. India believes that a caveat, whether declared or undeclared, places additional burden on those who do not have any caveats besides having an impact on performance of peacekeepers. India has always called for matching mandates with adequate resources. To put it simply, an under-resourced, under-equipped mission will not only result in underperformance in mandate implementation, but will impact on the credibility of UN peacekeeping as a whole. Honest assessment and feedback for peacekeeping performance is essential to have an effective accountability system. India supports the effective implementation of the integrated performance policy framework that covers all stakeholders and all phases of peacekeeping operations, and not just those on the ground. Reporting of underperformance requires careful analysis and assessment. Such assessment should examine whether units with higher capability levels in the peacekeeping capability readiness system were overlooked during selection, or whether administrative decisions were divorced from ground realities, etc. Mr. Chairman, India strongly supports the Secretary General's Action for Peacekeeping A4P initiative. India has called for protecting the protectors. We appreciate the Secretary General's attention to improving safety and security of UN peacekeeping personnel. With rising incidents of attacks, including from terrorists, and rising casualties, we need to do more to protect the protectors. Upgrading of security infrastructure of camps by conducting a comprehensive medical mapping exercise for all missions and plugging the gaps related to counter-IED resources for missions facing such threats needs immediate attention. It is important to ensure transparency in selecting contingents. The basis of selection should include training standards, equipment, and skill sets that would best suit the requirements of a specific mission's operational environment. We will push for presence of more women in peacekeeping. Peacekeeping missions are meant to be transitional measures and not operate in perpetuity. There is an urgent need for time-bound exit strategies to ensure that peacekeeping missions do not become instruments for furthering political interests. While we keep highlighting the need for appropriate equipment, it is disappointing that there is still no consensus on the need to increase COE reimbursement rates. Mr. Chairman, while we deeply appreciate the initiatives of the Department of Operational Support in expeditiously processing reimbursement claims, the non-payment of cost of service rendered by the T/PCCs to the closed peacekeeping missions is an unresolved issue that requires resolution. As an elected member of the Security Council, peacekeeping is one of our core priorities. In the context of COVID, India was happy to respond to the request of the UN Secretary General and swiftly dispatch 2 medical teams and upgrade India's peacekeeping hospitals in MONUSCO in DRC and UNMIS in South Sudan. We are working closely with our partners on the vaccine front also and make available our facilities for all humanity. India is committed to working with partners of this committee on measures to make UN peacekeeping operations more effective, efficient, and transformative. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.